Any pressure you feel around the work from the inside or outside is a signal for self-examination. The artist's goal is to keep themselves pure and unattached, to avoid letting stress, responsibility, fear, and dependence on a particular outcome distract. And if it does, it's never too late to reset. Oh, beautifully said. It's never too late until you're dead. Tuning Out by Rick Rubin from Living the Creative Act. In parens, undermining voices. He writes, "We may take years, even decades, to create our first project." Oh, that's so true. There was a time when all I wanted was to create a project. Anything. I just want a project to be made. I want my first dollar that I make myself, not through an employer. Thanks so much for following. And yeah, I made my first app. I don't remember exactly what year. Let's call it 2011 or something. And I did make a couple, I think I made 3 sales of the app. But it wasn't a popular app. Now I finally have my Subway app that a lot of people are using, that a lot of people really, really like. So I feel like I finally have made my first project. Anyway, 8 years into making this app. When was it published? 2016. Yeah, so it's been out 8 years. Anyway, okay, so he writes, "We may take years, even decades, to create our first project. It typically develops in a vacuum, in an ordinary way, in a conversation mostly with ourselves and my girlfriend at the time. Now we're married. After we share it, outside influencers can emerge. An audience appears, whether it consists of friends or a large group of strangers. Individuals and companies with business interests can sign on. And as we begin to work on our next project, loud outer voices may speak to us from different sidelines, influencing us in different creative directions, demanding the work now, without concern for quality." When is the next app? When are you putting out a course on making art? When's the next album coming out? Yeah, I guess this is this is universal experience. As these voices enter an artist's head, concern for deadlines, deals, sales, media attention, public image, staff, overhead, growing the audience, keeping the existing fan base, they can undermine our focus. The intention of our art can shift from self-expression to self-sustainment, from creative choices to business decisions. The key to navigating this phase of an artistic journey is learning to tune out, to prevent external pressures from entering our inner process and interfering with the pure creative state. It helps to recall the clear mindset that produced the first work and allowed success to happen originally. Set aside not just business concerns, but the needs and thoughts of these outside voices. Keep them out of your consciousness while in pursuit of your best work. When you're able to focus purely on creativity and work in a sacred space, everyone benefits and all other priorities are served." He continues to write, "At any stage in a career, the critic in your head may make its voice heard, repeating that you're not talented enough, your idea isn't good enough, art isn't a worthwhile investment of your time, the result won't be well received, you're a failure. Or there may be a contrary voice that tells you that everything you do is perfect, you'll be the greatest phenomenon the world has ever seen. More often than not, these outer voices that were observed early in life, these are outer voices that were absorbed early in life. Yes, 100%. Perhaps a critical or doting parent, teacher, or mentor. These voices are not our own. We have internalized someone else's judgment. That's a great way to put it for those of you familiar with IFS. So it can be met with the same indifference as the other random chatter. Any pressure you feel around the work from the inside or outside is a signal for self-examination. The artist's goal is to keep themselves pure and unattached, to avoid letting stress, responsibility, fear, and dependence on a particular outcome distract. And if it does, it's never too late to reset. Oh, beautifully said. It's never too late until you're dead. Then you are late. The first step of clearing is acknowledgement. Oh, he's going to tell us how to clear. I wonder what he's going to say. Notice yourself feeling the weight of self-criticism or the pressure to live up to expectations. And remember that commercial success is completely out of your control. All that matters is that you are making something you love, to the best of your ability here and now. Working to free yourself from inner voices is a kind of meditation. Well, yeah. That's one of the goals of meditation usually. Set aside all concerns for a stretch of time and say, I'm only going to focus on this one practice, making great work. I love how he doesn't say what the stretch of time is. It could be 30 seconds, you know. If any distractions come along during that period, don't ignore them or focus on them. Don't give them any energy at all. Let them pass like clouds parting around a mountain. Yeah, maybe starting with 30 seconds is the right thing for some people. Yeah, he's basically saying like how to meditate, but using your work as the focus of the meditation. Regularly engaging in this practice builds the muscle of focused intention, which you can use in everything you do. Eventually, tuning out the undermining voices and losing yourself in the work will not be an effort of will, but an earned ability. Yeah, that's one approach, like learn to tune them out by practicing. I guess there's other ways too of like making peace with those moments, which is perhaps, a more therapeutic approach. It's one that I've been using. But like until then, until you're able to go through therapy, maybe a little bit of both is okay. Because I guess for me, like those voices are absorbed by me. They're part of my inner harmony, and I want to have inner harmony with everything. I don't want to tune anything out. I want to be all of me. I want to put all of myself into what I do. So I don't want to practice ignoring part of myself. But if this advice is helpful, you should do it. If going to therapy costs too much, then yeah, that's another reason to perhaps try this out. But I guess like either way, like the idea of using your artwork as the focus of your meditation, like instead of your breath or like instead of like a bell, that is pretty interesting. I mean, I guess that's what getting into flow is. It's like everything else kind of fades away and you're just working on your work. Going through the phases of building out experiments and seeing what happens and seeing how you feel about it. Noticing which parts of you are activated by what you're making, be it an app or a painting or whatever, a song. I guess I'm not exactly sure what he means by the same indifference as random chatter, like these inner critics. No, excuse me. I don't know. I'm just so against like you need to silence your inner critic. Like, I don't know, man. It's like it's trying to protect you. It's trying to if you try to ignore it too much, it might just get louder. It's it needs attention too. It needs its own healing. Randy says, I love how he is covering both the outer voices and inner voices in this. Both impact us. Oh, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure when to try to make peace with an outer voice. I, I often just ignore outer voices that I don't like. I guess I'm more focused on inner harmony at the moment than outer harmony. I guess that's interesting. I do like how he says like make its voice heard because yeah, if it doesn't feel heard, it'll get this inner critic will get cranky and try even harder to get your attention. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of features that people want from the app, and I want to get to all of them. And I guess I'm kind of charting my path right now with a couple things are cooking. I guess you're seeing kind of this 3.0 emerge. But yeah, there's other stuff cooking too. What a fun book. Growing the audience. Yeah, there's so many like advice on how to grow your Twitch audience, how to grow your TikTok audience. These three marketing hacks. Like I just want to make a good app. And I do talk about it on um, Instagram, etc. to to try to grow the audience, and that is part of my personal growth is learning how to talk about it. I've been thinking about uh, Louis Pasteur recently, of the experiments he did to about fermentation and bacteria. Like his experiments were so persuasive that have you even heard of spontaneous generation? And like that's not a thing. Like people talk about the earth being flat, but like as a joke or otherwise, I have no idea. But spontaneous generation, that's just not a thing. That thing died hard after Louis Pasteur. So yeah, I want to. I hope that whatever I discover, I can make an experiment that really communicates it to other people.